Hey Ted, you gotta tell me, umpires you mentioned superstitious. Come on, I know we don't like to, as managers and coaches, we don't like to step on the chalk line and all that. What kind of superstitions we talking about with umpires?
Well, yeah, we're just like the players. It's part of baseball culture, right? So, yeah, we've got some guys are more superstitious than others. A lot of our pregame routine, with me, I'm not really so much into superstition, but I am into routine. It's I want to make sure that I'm getting dressed in a certain order. Some people look at me and go, "What? Why are you superstitious? You putting on your shin guards, then your pants, and your shoes?" Like, no, I'm not superstitious. I just don't want to leave anything. I've gone out on the field and I forgot a cup, which can be a nightmare. I forgot shin guards. I just want to make sure that I get dressed in a certain order just so I don't leave things. And also, I'm kind of like, it's the way I prep, way I start getting mentally ready and locked in. There's a difference between going out and working the bases. Yeah, you want to go out and work hard and have a great game, but working the plate, there's just that little bit of different prep that you've got to make sure that you're mentally locked in before you walk out there, because you want to be perfect from the first pitch.
Yeah, speaking about preparation, it's got to be things you guys do prior to a game. You guys, when you meet in the locker room, are there things you prepare for? I know you got to prepare the baseballs, I believe, but is there anything else you do, stretching or anything like that that you get ready for the ball game?
Yeah, it's definitely part of the routine. Definitely stretching, especially as I get older.
Yeah,
I want to get stretched out. Sometimes guys need heat or ice. We're like the players. We get bumps and bruises during the season, and we've got to work through them. We don't get to sit out a game because we've got a sore muscle. We've got whatever's hurting. We got to get it right and get ready to get out there. And then we like to relax. We like to eat a light meal so we get out there because a lot of times people are eating dinner, but we're getting ready to go to work.
oh yeah.
We don't want to eat a big heavy meal, so we have a bigger meal at lunch and then a lighter meal at dinner before we get out there. And we want to make sure. One question I get a lot is, when do you go to the bathroom? Because we're standing out there for 4 or 5 hours, so we want to make sure we get that out of the way before we walk out there. And again, as we get older, sometimes that happens a couple times during the game. I have to sneak off into the dugout, but get back before the TV breaks over. Sometimes we try to. A lot of crews will play cards and just kind of relax, but also get our minds start working. And but it's good fellowship too. It's good hangout time as we get ready to go out there and get to work.
Yeah, I was thinking about the bathroom, 7 hours and 20 minutes. I'm sure you had to go sometime during that time. And on top of it, it's a perfect game possibly going on, or no hitter. You've had we talked about some great highlights in your career. It's been exceptional. I did want to mention what, you umpired with your son. That had to be a thrill.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was, spring training game, which over there in Mesa with the Cubs, that's always a fun game anyway, because Cub fans get out there and pack it out. And for him, he went out there and worked home plate and did a great job. That was a proud dad moment to watch him work. And yeah, he's a great kid. He's a humble kid. And that's a memory I'll treasure.
Well, and also at that same time, I want to give a shout out to Tony Randazzo. And I bring that up because he was on that crew with you. Tony's a Chicago kid. I worked for his dad at the National Italian American Sports Hall of Fame. His dad just passed away not too long ago. So rest in peace, Mr. Randazzo. And I bring up Tony, and I'll tell you why, because he's had some injuries. And I know other umpires have had injuries. It's not just umpiring, but now we're also, there's a safety issue here too, because there are a lot of injuries that can occur from foul tips, from broken bats. Talk a little bit about that area.
Yeah, Tony and I came up together. We went to umpire school together, and then we worked the fall league together. And Tony's a tough guy too. Done some boxing. His brother was a great boxer, and Tony got in there and sparred. And so he's a tough guy, but he's gotten foul tips to the head with concussions. He's had neck problems. He's had back problems, all as a result of getting out there and umpiring. We've had a lot of good umpires have to cut their career short. Dale Scott had to retire because of constant lingering concussion issues. So yeah, we're there. This is a dangerous job. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you're going to get hit. The baseball's going to find you. We put the gear on, the chest protector, the shin guards, the mask. But there's bones get hit. Bones get broken.
Sure.
When you walk out there, you're in harm's way.
And you're also trying to
And
change the gear eventually, right? Every year. I mean, they're trying evolving the gear to make it better.
yeah, they're trying to come up with, are the helmets better, the hockey style helmet for getting hit, different pads, the concussion pads, the type of pads the military uses. Yeah, we're just always trying to find better protection. You see some guys like John Tumpane, Chicago guy, he'll be out there wearing the helmet. Doesn't want to get hit with a backswing and get hit in the head, so he'll wear a helmet under the mask. Yeah, we're always just trying to find the best protection, but also what's going to give us the best vision too. So we want to make sure that we can still see. I think the old timers wore the balloon. That was good protection. Covered a lot of the arms and things like that. But it was tough to run and move and be mobile like we are now.
Ted, your time has been fantastic. I really appreciate it, man. I do not want to finish the episode without discussing your ministry, because I'm kind of curious when you got into it, why you got into it, and also what you're doing, because you've taken off air. We talked about Cuba and the trips you've taken to Cuba, but I'm sure you've done a lot more than just that. Talk to our audience about why you got into it and how it's affected your life and how it's affected my number one fan, Beverly, my wife, asked the question about how it kind of involves with baseball, how it helps you with baseball.
Yeah, well, great question. Thanks for asking that. Yeah, so we when I got to the minor leagues, going through the minor leagues, and a guy like Tony Randazzo as well, that the church was very important, but it's hard on Sundays having 1 o'clock games getting to church. And we don't have a home game like the teams do. So every 3 days we're moving to another city. So it's really hard to have a church. A player might plays for the Cubs. So half the year he's got a home church he can get to. We don't have that advantage. And so Baseball Chapel is a great group, but and UPI is a ministry that ministers toward the players. They're ex-professional players that minister to the players, but there was really nothing for umpires. And so in 2003, Rob Drake and I had gone to a Bible study retreat with some players, and it was kind of awkward, like we talked before.
Sure.
We don't mix, and we don't want that hint of impropriety either. So we said, let's try to do one ourselves for umpires. So we sent out some emails, and we didn't know who would show up, but a few guys showed. And then every year we've gotten bigger and bigger. So we just did our 19th annual Bible study retreat. CFC is the name of the ministry, Calling for Christ, which is kind of a catchy play on words. And so it's been fun to watch that ministry grow. We do Bible studies during spring training. We meet for breakfast. We do prayer calls throughout the week. Big league call 1 day a week, minor league call another day a week, and it's a community. So where it helps in umpiring, as your wife asked, is that it keeps us connected, because the four of us travel around to the different cities, and you can really get isolated. But this keeps us connected by technology, by phone. We'll have a Bible study group where we get together on Zoom, like you and I are talking. We can see each other, and we can, take a specific book and study through it. And it just, keeps us together, keeps us in community, and on the field, it helps us with all the things we talked about.
Sure.
All the problems I've overcome. God's helped me overcome cussing on the field, which is tough to do in baseball.
I need that one.
Yeah, well, I think we all do, right? I've had anger issues. I still fight.
I need that one too.
Yeah, it's right, as men, we all need that. And
absolutely,
anger's not good in our job, because you don't want to be angry out there umpiring. You want to keep a calm, level head when everybody else is kind of, you'll see during a brawl, everybody's upset. We have to be the ones that keep the level head and keep things separated. But for me too, another great thing is helping younger guys, helping them, the young guys that come to the big leagues. We're going to help them not make the same mistakes that we did. We've got older guys that have overcome, alcohol problems. They're going to help a younger guy through that. All kinds of other types of, problems that men have on the road. We're going to make sure that the young guys are, they don't have to go down that road. The great thing about umpiring is when you make a mistake, you learn from it. I joke about as umpires, it's a high divorce rate because being on the road and it's hard on a marriage, but our second marriages are strong and solid. That's because we learn from our mistakes.
Sure.
And luckily, my first wife has put up with all this, and she stuck around, so I didn't have to make that mistake. But we're going to help the young guys out too, and I think that just makes for a better crew, makes it adhesive, and then the international part, which you and I were talking about. And I know you've traveled all over, and you know this. Baseball's the international language, like we said, and so where there's baseball being played, which is all over the world, they need umpiring. So we've been able to go to Germany, we've been able to go to different countries, Cuba, Japan, and we go in and we teach umpiring, but then we can share the gospel too, and that's what's important to us. I'm amazed by Cuba, what's going on in the churches. You've seen that. They can only meet with 25 people. So as soon as they get 26, they start another church, home churches, and they love their baseball. So we can go down there. We've worked with their umpires and been able to share the gospel with them too. So it's been a passion of mine, and I'll continue to do that. I'm sure after I'm done with Major League Baseball, I hope I can still travel and teach baseball and share the word and give hope to people.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, I'll give a shout out to my wife. Because of my wife, we've been on a few mission trips around the world. And, I encourage people to, if you can do a mission trip somewhere, do it. And keep in mind that I always thought when you went on a mission trip, you're going to help people. Well, it's kind of the reverse. You get there, you're trying to help, but now they're helping you understand what it's like to have that tough life. And they're not really looking at it as a tough life. They're getting through it. They're having fun. They're trying to be positive, and it really uplifts you because you know how much you have here in the U.S. or other countries. We're so fortunate and all that. So I think the mission trips actually help us by going on them.
Absolutely. And you hit the nail on the head, man. The first time I went, I said, I'm gonna go over and help these people.
Right.
And I came back changed by them. And, you get into these third world countries that, they don't have anything, and yet they're so happy. Yeah. And I come home, I've got everything. I've literally got everything that I need and want. And, we're all miserable but over there, they've got nothing. And they go to church on Sunday. And if you're like me, I go and I hope the pastor doesn't go too long because I want to get out of there and go eat and play football. They don't want to leave. It's the highlight of their week. They want to stay there, and they're worshiping and they're having fellowship, and they'll go 4 or 5 hours because they don't want it to end. And I wish we could be more like that over here.
Absolutely. And I'll finish it with this. I remember being in Cuba, and I know it's happened in other countries. And friends of ours invited us over to dinner. And I'm like, they can't afford meals for themselves, but yet they'll go out of the way to invite you to a meal at dinner, which they can't afford. And there's always that indication. You're always thinking in the back of your mind, do you offer something, like some money to help them? Or do you just, let them do their thing? Because, if you offer money, are you insulting them by doing that? Because, it's just amazing the things that go on when you're in another country, how nice people are and they don't have anything.
It's so humbling. You're right. Because, they're taking food literally out of their children's mouth because they want to feed you, and you feel terrible. But, then you realize that you're blessing them because you're allowing them to bless you. They don't have much, but what they have, they want to offer you. And I get so humbled when I come home. I'm like, I can't believe how nice and genuine and accepting and open these people are. I'm sitting there. I don't want to be bothered. And when the phone rings or somebody rings the doorbell, I'm like, let's get rid of them so I get back to do what I want to do. And they, you go ring their doorbell and they want to bring you in. And I know you've heard this, right? When you leave, I remember leaving Mexico and every one of them say, hey, when you come here next time, you stay with me. You don't stay in a hotel. Right. Your house is my house. It's mi casa es su casa. And they mean that. And they would get mad if you go back and you don't stay with them. I've done that in Mexico. They're like, you said you were going to stay with me. And I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't want to put you out, but they just want to bless you. And anyway, you get that. And you're right. People that travel and people that go to different countries and go on mission trips, it is the best thing that can happen to you. And if you can help them out in the process, that's even better.
Well, I got a feeling, and we'll end it with this, Ted, you've been great. I got a feeling that after your umpiring career, I'm sure you will expand on your mission trips around the world because I think we need that more of. We need to encourage more people to do it. Can't thank you enough, man, buddy. You've been fantastic. As always with our guests, man, I always take them longer than I tell them we're going to be on, and they're always willing to help out. But I think this has been a great show, and thank you, and God bless you, man.
God bless you, brother. And hey, we're gonna do a trip together.
Absolutely.
You teach baseball, I'll teach umpiring, and we'll go have fun because, like I said, I know you get it. And you know, one of the greatest trip that my wife and I have been on is Israel. And so maybe we should go over there together and we can teach some baseball. How cool would that be?
We're in, man. And I remember, and I'm glad you brought it up because folks, when, you know, it's funny how whether the game of baseball, any sport, once you get there, I remember we did some things with kids for baseball, you know, and man, does it bring everybody together. It opens those barriers up right away, you know, where maybe it may not happen without, it may take a little longer without the sport part in it, but with sports, it opens it up right away, the barrier.
Yeah, and baseball, it doesn't matter, religion, politics.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. You get out there and you talk baseball, and it brings everybody together, and I love that.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm in, so let's do it. I'm ready to go whenever you are, so can't look forward to it, man. Again, have a great new year. Hopefully we get back in baseball pretty soon here, and I just want to wish you a great season also.
Thank you, brother. I hope to see you in spring training. We'll hopefully we get it started on time, and
or the World Baseball Classic. You never know.
Yep, let's do that again. That'll be fun. See what country we go to next.
Absolutely. All right, folks, that's Ted Barrett. Thank you very much. And I'm Pete Caliendo. Hey, I want to wish everybody a happy new year. Hopefully you had a great Christmas with your family and friends. And don't forget, continue to listen to us on Baseball Outside the Box, ESPN Honolulu, also YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. We're all on the social media. And I want to thank everybody in the U.S. and around the world for spreading the show. Special thanks to Brian Crock, our producer with the Lineup Media Group. Hey, remember, stay healthy, be safe. God bless you, and we'll see you on the next show.